LocalBozo.com is proud to have with us as our guest for an exclusive interview, bassist and vocalist of New York City's own AJR, Adam Met. Adam, thanks so much for some time today, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, Adam, we're a couple hours away at this point from the band's set at the Gramercy Theater right here in your hometown. Talk a little bit about how you're feeling and what the show means to you and the band, opening up for the Vamps.
Having the Vamps come over here onto, well, I guess our home turf is really nice to introduce some of that UK sound over to here, which is a little different from the normal American kind of pop band. So we're really excited to be playing with them tomorrow. Our music is a little bit different, I would say, from the Vamps in that it combines a lot of different genres into one style. So we take influences from music that we grew up on, from the Beach Boys and Simon and Garfunkel and the Beatles to more contemporary sounds like Fun and Imagine Dragons. So our music is really like a conglomerate of everything that we grew up on that our parents introduced us to and the stuff that we hear on the radio today. And everything is written, mixed, produced by the three of us, me and my two brothers, in our living room. So there are no producers, there are no songwriters. We're signed to our own label. It's called AJR Production. So everything from the beginning to end is us. What you hear on the radio was made in our living room.
You know, the band has been described as sort of this do-it-yourself outfit. Talk a little bit about how you guys position yourself from start to finish and the elation that you get based on the fact that it's finally getting some serious radio play.
Yeah. Over the last 8 years, we've been doing this, and we started out street performing in Central Park and Washington Square Park, and we did a bunch of covers, and that's what drew people in. And then we put a few of these covers online, and people started. And the covers that we did were taking the originals and making them, kind of turning them on their head. And so we mashed up a One Direction song with a Beach Boys song, and stuff like that. And then throughout this whole time, we were writing original music. And so many people over the last 8 years told us, you need to be more like this band, you need to be more like this band. And as soon as we started being the kind of band that we wanted to be, making the kind of music that we would be interested in listening to, we got discovered, in quotes. And that happened a year and a half ago. Sia, the woman who sings Titanium, she is fantastic. She writes for a bunch of other people now. She's really inspiring to us because she does both. She performs and she writes. My middle brother and I were in a college class together at Columbia, and he was tweeting famous people a video that we had made of our single, I'm Ready. And she retweeted us, responded, invited us to brunch, and then we met with her, and she was just the nicest possible person. And she introduced us to management, to labels, and after meeting with a couple of different labels, we met Steve Greenberg. And he was the president of Columbia Records, and now he runs his own record label. But he and us together came up with the idea that you really don't need a record label anymore to get this done. So writing, producing, mixing everything ourselves, and working with our management, we came up with a strategy to make this happen without a huge machine behind us. And we first heard our song on the radio actually on our way to California to do a show, and it was on a plane. And not many people know that there is actually Sirius radio on the plane. And we were all sitting separately all over the plane, and everyone was telling the people that were sitting next to them, oh my God, this is me right here. And like people were dancing. It was a really exciting time hearing ourselves on the radio for the first time.
All right, let's talk a little bit about I'm Ready. It's about as poppy and catchy a single as anything released so far this year. What inspired the song for you to write it? And once it was finished, did you immediately know that it was going to be the group's first single?
From the minute that Jack, the youngest brother, came up with the idea to sample SpongeBob, he actually said that Skrillex should sample this. And Ryan, the middle brother, said, no, we should do it. So from the second that the I'm Ready hook was recorded and put down on the track, we knew that it was going to be a smash more than anything we've done before. And a lot of the songs that we've written since that are going to be on our upcoming album reflect that kind of mix of sampling, electronic music, but also paying homage to older songwriters.
All right, well, listen, the lineage of family-based pop groups dates back decades, but recently bands like Hanson and the Jonas Brothers, even Hot Shell Ray, have had unparalleled levels of success. Do you look to these similar bands as sort of a template for your own success, or on the other hand, do you maybe look at the Jonas Brothers and try to avoid some of the same pitfalls that led to their subsequent breakup?
We are slightly outside of the framework of the typical boy band, the typical three-brother kind of act. And if you look past the fact that we're brothers, you'll see that from listening to the music. We consider ourselves more in the track of an Imagine Dragons, a Fun, a Vampire Weekend. And what we love about those bands is that in their records, they show growth and change. And as they put out more music, they develop into something else. And it's not so different from their beginning, but your fan base can grow and change with you.
All very true. So you got the big show here in Manhattan coming up. What's the next step for the band? You guys release an EP at the end of the year, but are you guys heading out on a full tour, going to release some more videos? You mentioned maybe recording a full album. What's coming up in the next few months for AJR?
Yes, we're working on a tour. We have a headlining show in New York City at the Gramercy Theater on March 15th, and then we're going to be doing Boston, Philly, Montreal, and DC over the next month or so. We're working with Macy's on an event in March, and we're hard at work putting together that full album. So, and you can hear us more and more on regular radio starting this week, actually.
Awesome. Well, listen, Adam, you're a New York City guy through and through, a graduate of Columbia. Tell us some of your favorite spots to hit up around the city, maybe some places your brothers aren't even old enough to get into yet.
Actually, we love hanging out in the parks, like Washington Square Park. There is so much culture. If you just sit on the bench and just people watch, so many different kinds of people walk through, from the drug dealers and the homeless people to the NYU students to the rich people who live in the brownstones in that area. It's so rare that you see so many different walks of life in one place. We love Washington Square Park for that reason. Obviously, Columbia, its campus is just beautiful in the city. But we walk pretty much everywhere. Yeah, we take the subway when we're in a rush, but we love observing what's going on in the city. And, tourists look up, see the heights of the buildings, but we look at people because music is evoking emotion in people. So we like to study people to figure out what exactly evokes that emotion and try to replicate it in our music.
Okay, lastly, for fans that have been with AJR since day one, tell us something about you and your brothers that we might not know.
Jack is the youngest one. Jack and I both really like Chinese food. So we try and find the best Chinese restaurants in the city. And we try and find the specific dishes that we like. And Jack, you also might not know, he is an avid tennis and ping pong player. And he actually played in ping pong tournaments sometimes. So.
All right. Well, you got to check out Han Dynasty. It opened within the last 6 months in the East Village. Excellent, excellent Chinese food. If you're a fan of Chinese food, check it out.
Excellent. I will try that.
Okay. Well, listen, Adam, can't thank you enough for your time today here from localbozo.com. Is there anything else you'd like to leave for our readers on your way out?
Yeah, just look for our upcoming album. It's tentatively called Living Room because everything is made by us in the living room. And check out our upcoming shows.
Fans, go and download AJR's debut EP called 6'1" right now wherever you download or stream music. The Band of Brothers hits the Gramercy Theater on February 19th. If you can't make the sold-out show in New York City, make sure to keep tabs on the band at ajrbrothers.com to see where they're heading next. Adam, it's our pleasure speaking with you today here from localbozo.com. Wishing you the best of luck in your ascension to the ranks of pop music royalty, my friend.
Great. Come say hi tomorrow.